Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we will now commence the May 9, 2023 City of Daytona Beach Special Magistrate Proceedings. At the outset, I've reviewed and approved the minutes of our April 11, 2023 meeting. Do we have any announcements before we start this morning's agenda?
Yes, sir. Page number 3, case number 7, SMG 05-23-123, Rose Avenue parcel is in compliance, 5423.
Okay, I'm sorry, what case is that now?
Case number 7, page number 3, compliance 5423.
Case number 7, page 3, gotcha.
Page number 4, case number 11, 12, and 13. We're withdrawing those cases.
Okay,
Want me to? Oh, you're good. Okay. Page number 6, case number 19, SMG 05-23-132, 532 North Atlantic Avenue is in compliance, 5523. Page number 14, case number 51, 04-23-86 Illinois Street Parcel. This one's 5238-38-00-1130, compliance 5523. And case number 52, SMG 04-23-87 Illinois Street Parcel 5339-32-04-0150, compliance 5523. That's it.
okay, very good. All right, we're going to go to a couple of cases out of order. Case number 35.
Oh, wait, we got to swear everybody in.
Pardon?
We got to swear everybody in.
I'm sorry, will all those representatives for the city of Daytona Beach who will be testifying at this morning's proceeding, please stand and be sworn.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
All right, case 35, SIG Global Family Limited Partnership. Is there anyone here for the respondent?
Good morning.
Good morning. If you would state your name for the record.
Jessica Gow, Cobb Cole Law Firm, 149 South Rosewood Avenue, Daytona Beach, Florida.
All right, I have that this matter was continued from the March hearing for the imposition of a fine. So let's hear from our inspector.
Since last hearing, I've spoken to Ms. Gao, the attorney, as well as the owner of the property. This is a vacant lot, and progress is being made, so at this time, we want to hear what the attorney has to say.
Very good. Ms. Gow?
Perfect. Yeah, this is the interesting case with the retaining wall that we are reviewing. And so the last time we spoke, we were going out to get a specific purpose survey for that retaining wall to see where it fell on the property line. We have that survey done for 2 lots out of a total of 4 legal lot descriptions. Once we have the completed surveys, we'll be reaching out to the neighbors, all of the adjacent properties who we believe the retaining wall benefits, to talk about mitigation and a plan forward, as we discussed. So we've got partial survey work completed. We're just waiting for that to be finalized, and then we'll reach out.
Based on an email that I received from Ms. Gao, it's exactly the same thing she just testified to.
So this is the wall the respondent's been told to remove, but then the concern arose that if he removes it, there's a bunch of neighboring properties that are all going to collapse.
Correct.
And what have the surveys done for us?
They do show, the surveys that we have so far show the wall within our property boundary.
You're the property owner.
Correct.
Okay.
Of the wall.
Theoretically, it's your wall to do what you want with.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so where do we go from there?
We need to finish up the survey work. Again, on the next lot, it meanders over, so we just want to confirm that. And then we're going to send correspondence out to all of the adjacent owners, tell them what's going on. look at potential repairs with the engineer and talk about cost sharing among the parties, because it might not be.
What now?
Cost sharing, potential collaboration. We'd like them to keep their wall for the structure of their lot,
You would like them to do what?
to be able to keep the wall for their lot structure.
You would like them to be able to keep your wall?
Yes? Yes. So that their lots aren't
You would like
impacted.
neighbors to be able to keep the other person's wall. All right, it's too early for me to wrap my head around that. All right, so what's the solution here? At some point, the wall stays, presumably gets repaired, and there's some sort of global agreement in the neighborhood where everyone holds hands and says, we want this wall to stay here?
That's what we're aiming for.
Okay, and how long is that going to take?
I think we plan to have the survey back and outreach done within the next 30 days. If we'll hear back by then, I'm not sure. That's our next step.
And have we already been in communication with these neighbors?
No.
And what if the neighbors say, no, I'm not paying for the wall?
Then we look at what the removal may do or improvements, but
Okay. All right. And what's the city's attitude with regard to this wall?
Well, unlike the last time, it's having heard that the parties are taking responsibility for that wall is good. We simply wanted the wall to be repaired or replaced. The other extra stuff to get parties involved, we really don't see that as, we simply want the wall to be fixed. So I guess at this time, we could give them the extra 30 days that they're asking for.
Well, the concern here is this wall comes down and these other properties start collapsing, isn't it?
correct. Or they experience foundation cracks,
I mean, if your client had his druthers, I assume the simple fix for him would be just remove the wall.
correct.
10-4. Okay, we will continue this matter to our June 13, 2023 meeting, and we will deal with it month to month until we have some resolution here. But in the meantime, it looks like we definitely have extenuating circumstances and that we have neighbors whose properties apparently are going to be in jeopardy if the respondent does exactly what the city's asked them to, which is to remove a wall that apparently supports part of their properties. So this is a bit of a thicket. The property owner, it appears to me, is making a good faith effort to try to resolve the matter for everyone involved. So that having been said, we'll discuss it again at our June 13 meeting to see where we are, because then I guess we have more detail regarding the survey. And hopefully by then, council, you can start reporting back as to what the neighbor's attitude is. If the neighbors tell your client, take a hike, we aren't paying for anything, then he can remove the wall and he'll be in compliance. If the neighbors are in an agreement to work with him to do that, then we'll figure out where we go from there.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. Sorry about that. I'm not sure if it's that simple. I mean, if they have to remove it, there may be other requirements. I'm not sure. So we'll have to look at that as we get down to that point.
That's why they pay me the big bucks. All right, very good. So that's case 35. Case 37, Blue Daytona 1 LLC. This matter is here for the imposition of a fine. And so that having been said, Mr. Inspector, what say the city?
Blue Daytona 1 LLC, I've spoken to Ms. Gao and the attorney on this case. Progress is being made in terms of the last email that I received. I was told that the seawall contractors were on site and they would cap the storm drain. There were other progress being done that she could testify to. But as far as we're concerned, the permits, everything is ongoing, but she could testify to what else is happening on site.
Sure.
Okay, what other progress other than what he mentioned has there been?
Yes, so this is one that, again, if you remember, we were nervous that the start of sea turtle season would impact their ability to continue under the permit. That is not the case. They got out, they mobilized, they had equipment out there, so they're allowed to proceed under their issued permit for the seawall repair, as long as no turtles make nests right in front of it, in a way that would interrupt the work. And so they completed demolition activities. 2 weeks prior, they went out and capped the stormwater. The sheet walls were supposed to be on site last Friday, and so they should be going up this week and proceeding forward. The work should be completed within the next 30 days, or by the next cutoff. I think we've got good progress going here.
Right. The last time we were told the same thing about 30 days. I personally think you guys may need more time because of the scope of work that's going to be done. Because we're simply gonna keep coming back here every month saying, this is where we are, this is where we are. But you guys may need more time for that, I believe.
I can only
30 days extends beyond my cutoff anyway, so I'll extend the current order of noncompliance to allow the respondent until July 5, 2023 to come into compliance or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Okay. Case number 41. Vishnu Ltd. and MMA Shantoshi. And Ms. Gao, you are here for the respondent.
That's correct.
Continued from the March hearing for a progress report. Okay, who's going to give me a progress report?
I am happy to.
All right, go right ahead.
So since the last hearing, the permit was issued for closing in the building that we discussed last time. They met with the city on April 6th to go over the site plan review that's in progress and the scope of variances that they need to apply for to allow the structure to move forward. So they're working on those applications for the variance to run alongside the site plan. They're working with the city and county on review items related to the work, and they continue to make progress.
Yeah, no, since the last hearing, we've had contact, we've had progress. We'd like to have them come back in August for a progress report. And that is 1700 North Atlantic.
As I say, that is not the site that we're looking.
So what's the address, 1,000 or 1,700?
Those are the pictures of 1700, not 1000.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, that's a different location. All right, so, in any event, forgive me, I was looking at pictures here. So, what's the next deadline I'm imposing here?
August for another progress report.
Okay, you in agreement with that?
Absolutely.
All right, apparently the city seems to be somewhat satisfied with the effort, so we will schedule this matter on our August 8, 2023 meeting for another progress report.
Thank you.
Mr. Yates, stay put. While I'm here, case number 40, Mark A. and Julie L. Walshager.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Just go ahead and keep those same photos up.
Corey Brown with Storch Law Firm, 420 South Nova Road, Daytona Beach, representing the Mark and Julie Walshager.
Okay, this is the case for the pictures I was looking
Yes.
at.
Yes.
Our infamous gold sand that I don't understand where it comes from.
Don't know either.
Okay. Continued from February hearing, progress report and timeline. All right. Okay, and it's Mr. Brown, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what is the progress report and timeline?
Well, we just got our, finally got our permit from FDEP last week to reconstruct the seawall. I also asked the client for an estimate here. We got an estimate from a construction company. This indicates that the sheet pile will be available in August.
What is sheet pile?
It's, you might be able to answer that better than I can. I think it's the big pieces of
Yeah,
concrete.
yes, it's the large pieces that'll be in for the wall. Just the wall.
Vertical slab?
Yes.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
And this, just for the best timeline I can give you, this also indicates that the construction would be completed within 12 weeks from mobilization. So, I mean, I would hope that the sheet pile could get in before then, but this indicates August, and then it'll take a little while to actually get it installed.
All right.
And that's the best I can give you.
What's going to happen in the next 2 to 3 months that you can relate to me?
Well, the first thing would be August. August would be when the materials would be available.
Okay, so what are we doing? Coming back in August for another progress report?
We are, and the other big thing that we'll be looking for is that the construction contract is signed and executed, so they're ready to
Okay.
roll.
We can get that done.
So we don't really, if I may, so we don't have the timeline on record yet as far as the.
Well, no, since he hasn't signed up the contractor, we can't put a number to it yet.
Okay.
All right, once again, it would appear as though the respondent is doing what they can. And so we will schedule this matter on our October 8, 2023 agenda for another progress report. And at that point, hopefully be able to maybe establish a compliance date.
Yes, sir.
And as I understand it, this sounds like the city wants to see this contract as soon as possible. So
Sure.
if the second it's executed, if you would please get it to Mr. Yates.
I will do so.
Very good. Okay, good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, let's go back to the beginning of our agenda. Case number 1, Ann E. Edwards Life Estate. Is there anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
Good morning. Mark Jones, Code Compliance Supervisor. My credentials are on file. This was a citizen's complaint for no business tax license, windows that did not operate, window frames that were rotted, incorrect glazing, needing screens in the windows, ceiling and stairwell was missing. They had plumbing issues. They needed to install the correct outlets and outlet covers. Some of the appliances didn't work. They were missing smoke alarms. There was no emergency egress from one of the bedrooms, and there were stains on the ceiling due to an ongoing roof leak. The property was posted on January 23rd, 2023, with compliance due by February 23rd, 2023. My site visit on April 21st, and it's still in non-compliance. Staff is recommending a finding of non-compliance with the life safety issues, and we're asking for those to be corrected within 10 days. That is the emergency egress out of the bedroom and the smoke detectors. The remaining issues need to be in compliance by next cutoff.
That's the egress out of what now?
One of the bedrooms, yes. Code requires that they have an emergency egress out of each bedroom for safety issues, and presently they have it blocked with a window air conditioner.
Getting indication from IT?
You're here via Zoom, just a heads up.
Oh, okay, great.
Other parties here via Zoom.
Okay, pull them up. Good morning. Hello? Okay, can somebody communicate with this person?
My apologies, you said Ann Edwards. They're the only person in my Zoom meeting that has an Ann in their name, so I assume that that's who we were talking to? No?
Is that's not her?
I don't think so.
I don't believe you'd be talking to Ann Edwards.
Oh, it's her state, so
Yeah.
she should be deceased.
So we do or do not have a respondent?
No.
Do not.
It's actually a life estate she could be living. I apologize. It's not.
All right, noting the absence of the respondent based upon our inspector's testimony, I find the respondent to be in non-compliance. In order that the respondent come into compliance with regard to the life safety issues mentioned during the course of this morning's proceeding, That specifically includes, but is not limited to, providing egress out of the bedrooms and making certain that all smoke detectors are operational. I'll expect that's going to have to be done within 10 days. The rest of the items are to be brought into compliance by June 7, 2023. The respondent's failure to comply with either of those will result in the respondent being returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 2, Dribble Housing Solutions, LLC. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
Inspector Curtis Wiggins, Code Compliance, credentials on file. This case was opened on December the 29th, 2022. It was a citizen complaint. The first notice received was January the 17th, 2023 for unpermitted work, installing windows, balcony supports, staircase and balcony railing. The compliance was due by February the 16th, 2023. I have had contact with the owner, but the issue still remains, and the staff recommends non-compliance, compliance, next cutoff.
Okay. Noting the absence of a respondent based upon our inspector's testimony, I find the respondent to be in non-compliance and order the respondent to come into compliance by June 7, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 3, 2655 International Speedway, LLC.
Good morning.
Good morning. If you would please state your name and be sworn.
My name is Hamid Gennad. I'm owner and manager of the 2655 West International Speedway, LLC.
Can you spell your name for me?
Hamid, H-A-M-I-D, last name G-H-A-N-N-A-D.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Do you agree this violation existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
We already cleaned the site a couple of weeks ago, and I sent a new picture to an inspector, and everything be completely resolved.
Are we in agreement that there was this work that needed to be done?
I'm sorry, one more time.
Are we in agreement that these deficiencies existed? These things needed to be done.
You already done.
All right, I find the respondent non-compliant. Mr. Inspector, how much time should reasonably be required for the respondent to come into compliance?
Reasonably, until next cutoff, please.
All right, the city seems to think you ought to be able to take care of this by June 7th. What say you to that?
We already did that. We already cleaned that site.
So you're
Everything done.
You think you're already done?
Everything done.
All right. Now, you do know you need to call for a final inspection when,
Right.
when all the work's done, right?
I did already.
Okay. All right, then I'll go ahead and order the respondent to come into compliance by June 7th of 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. All right, I've heard you tell me you think everything's done. It ain't done until he's inspected it and signed off on it.
Sure.
So when you think you've got everything complete, give him a call so he can do his inspection. And if you're in compliance, he'll put a piece of paper in the file, and that'll be it.
Thank you.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Case number 4, Rose Seawood. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
Inspector Garcia, credentials on file with city. This is citizen complaint for overgrown tree branches, grass, weeds, trash, and debris. This property was posted on November 1st, 2022. The compliance due date was on November 11, 2022. Last reinspection was done on April 27, 2023 for a finding of non-compliance. Compliance by next cutoff.
Had any work been done?
No, nothing.
Any contact with the owner?
No, sir.
Okay. Noting the absence of the respondent based upon our inspector's testimony, I find the respondent in noncompliance and order the respondent to come into compliance by June 7, 2023, or be returned to special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 5, Agnes Frazier. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
This property was also a citizen complaint for overgrown grass, weeds, trash, and debris. Property was posted on December 28, 2022. Compliance due date was January 7, 2023. Site inspection was done on April 27, 2023 for finding of non-compliance, compliance by next cutoff. Also had no contact with the owner.
Noting the absence of the respondent, based upon our inspector's testimony, I find the respondent to be in noncompliance and order the respondent to come into compliance by June 7, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 6, Emmett and Marie Fountain Estate. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
Morning, Inspector Bostwick. Credentials on file with the city. All right, this case was field generated, opened on March 16th of 2023. Overgrown vacant lot with trash and debris. First notification was on March 29th of 23. Compliance was due by April 10th of 2023. Last day of reinspection was on May 8th of 2023. Result of inspection, non-compliance. There's been no contact from the owner. Staff requests a finding of non-compliance with compliance due next cutoff.
Noting the absence of the respondent, based upon our inspector's testimony, I find the respondent to be in noncompliance and order the respondent to come into compliance by June 7, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 8, MGB Real Estate Investment Corporation. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
All right, this case was a citizen's complaint opened on February 17th of 2023. Debris on a vacant lot. First notification was on March 13th. Property was posted. Compliance was due by March 27th of 2023. Last day of reinspection was March 4th of 2023. Result, non-compliance, no contact from the owner. Staff requests a finding of non-compliance with compliance due next cutoff.
You said the last inspection was March 4th. Did you meant to say May 4th?
Yeah, I'm sorry, sir, May 4th.
Okay. Noting the absence of the respondent, based upon our inspector's testimony, I find the respondent in noncompliance and order the respondent to come into compliance by June 7, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 9, Martha M. Bailey. Anyone here for the respondent?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. If you would state your name and be sworn.
Martha M. Bailey.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Ms. Bailey, do you agree these conditions existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
No. I don't know what happened with the paperwork, but my contractor, this says that it was unpermitted. My contractor gave me the permit number here. Do you want that, or?
Well, show it to our inspector, see if it means something to him.
That's the permit he got on January 20th. For preparing, for replacing the door, and for, well, I didn't know if the broken window, there was a broken window there, and it was in a door, so he replaced that door also. So he put that in the permit also. So it was 2 doors that were replaced. The first one, I believe you came to inspect there, And the first door had already been done, the main, the one that was the really bad door. The other door he had ordered, and it hadn't come yet, and the next day after you were there, he came and did that door. So that was all done. So this would have been all resolved then if you hadn't noticed a broken window on the second floor that was broken. So so he was waiting. So you said tell him, about that. So he contacted all his subcontractors, and there were nobody was available, and that went on, and I knew one, and he was all tied up for some weeks and everything. And then I got another notice from you about 236 North Halifax, so I started working on that, and then I sort of forgot about the window over there. And then when the notice was posted on the 27th for the noncompliance notice was posted, I didn't get it. Nobody notified me that it was there, that lived there. Nobody notified me there was a notice on my building. And my son didn't get the mail for a week from the post office, so I never got the notice until I went on the 3rd to pick up the rents. And somebody mentioned there was a notice there, and that's when I got the notice. So I rounded up somebody, and we got the window fixed. So we're in compliance, and we're supposed to have been getting the contractor called for an inspection today. He called in yesterday for an inspection today, so I assume it's probably maybe already taken place, but it's supposed to take place today, a final inspection.
Well, I'm pretty sure all your inspectors are kind of like sitting right there right now, so.
Oh, so.
No, she's referring to a building inspector.
Okay. All right. Well, it sounds as though we're in acknowledgement that there were conditions that needed to be rectified. If what I'm hearing the respondent say, she believes she has a permit, she's telling us that she thinks the work is probably done already, and that she is in need of a final inspection. All of which tells me that I am finding the respondent in non-compliance and ordering the respondent to come into compliance by June 7, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Now, yes, I was paying attention when you spoke, and it sounds as though you may have all the work done. But please keep in mind, it's not done as far as we're concerned until you call for your final inspection.
It's already been called for.
I heard that part too. And it takes place. And once the inspector is satisfied, he'll put a notice of compliance in the file, and that'll be the end of it. So that sounds like you need to just follow through, and you have an opportunity to look into that permit, I suppose, that she mentioned.
Sure.
But either way, if there is no permit, then she's got until June 7th to fix that as well.
Correct.
Okay? We all on the same page?
Yes,
Okay, well, he's got the permit. He's got a copy of the permit.
Okay, good luck. Well,
The
I'm
contractor.
We'll give
we
Mr.
needed to
Stenson
bring
an
it.
opportunity to take a look at your permit and give you time to coordinate your final inspection, and hopefully that'll be the end of it. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Case number 10, GEA Seaside Investments Incorporated. Is there anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
Good morning, John Stenson, Code Inspector with the City. My qualifications are on file. This case was field generated. He was cited for unpermitted demolition of the front retaining wall of the property, along with the rest that you see here. The property was posted on 12 April of 23. Compliance was due on 25 April of 23. The site was visited on 25 April of 23. Property remains in non-compliance. We're asking for an order of non-compliance and compliance by the next cutoff.
What do? Tear down some sort of a retaining wall at the front of the property?
Right. Can you hold those photos right there? Yes, sir. Where the trash can is the sidewalk, where that red portion of the retaining wall remains, went all the way across the front of the property, and it's all been removed.
Okay. All right, noting the absence of the respondent, based upon the inspector's testimony, I find the respondent to be in noncompliance. and order the respondent to come into compliance by June 7, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Cases 11, 12, and 13 were withdrawn, which brings us to case number 14, GDAK, J-E-D-A-K Associates. Morning.
Good morning. I'm Sherry Bright, manager at Wings Beachwear.
Pardon?
Manager at the Wings Beachwear.
Okay.
Sorry, state your name again.
Sherry Bright.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Your affiliation with JDAC Associates?
Mm-hmm.
What is it?
We just rent the building out from them. We're Wings.
For a week?
No. We're Wings Beachwear. We just rent his building.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Do you agree this violation existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
Yes.
All right, I find the respondent non-compliance. Mr. Inspector, what is it going to require for the respondent to come into compliance, and how much time should reasonably be allowed for her to do so?
Name's Steve Alderman, Code Compliance Inspector for City of Daytona.
Sign we're squawking about right there?
Yes.
Big sign.
They do have
A sign
a
company.
current contract, and actually, Mr. Kairokos, the owner, confused Razzles with this one, so he ended up fixing a sign I hadn't even had on in violation.
Okay.
So then he found out, and then we renegotiated. He called her, and so Wings is already in process for the repair and replacement.
We do have a sign company coming to fix it.
Great. And when do you expect that to happen?
We already have the contract. He's just waiting on materials to put up the sign.
And has he given you any indication as to when he expects to be out there to fix it?
Well, he said he was pulling the permit this week to
Okay.
fix it.
And when does he think he's going to be done?
I'm not quite sure.
Okay. Have you seen this permit yet?
No.
Okay. All right, then we will continue the determination of a compliance date. Once they have the permit, how long should it take to put the sign up?
Usually 2 weeks at the most.
Do you know if the sign's already been fabricated?
No, we just finalized what the sign was going to look like.
Okay. And you have just now applied for a permit?
No, he said he was pulling the permit this week. Kenco, the sign company.
All right, what do you propose, Mr. City Inspector?
Staff requested determination of non-compliance to come into compliance by next cutoff.
All right, well, I find the respondent in non-compliance. What happened to this sign? Why
It
is-
blew out during the hurricane.
All right, so this goes back, what, to last year that it got damaged? Okay. Okay, I'll order the respondent to come into compliance by June 7, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. I think you're on a pretty tight schedule here, so when hiccups occur, and I suspect they will, you make sure you notify that gentleman of what's going on as it goes on, and then that way, if you need additional time, we'll be a little more understandable.
Okay,
Ignore us, and you'll have problems.
okay,
10-4?
perfect.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Case number 15, Angela Koliopoulos. Anyone here for the respondent? Yes, sir.
My name is Okan Avcılar. I'm the tenant in the building.
Okay.
I'm sorry, can you spell your name for me?
Okan. And last name is Avcilar.
A-V-C-I-L-A-R.
Be like Victor.
Raise your hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, and you are a tenant in this building?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Attorney, does that work?
Yes, for the nature of the violations.
Okay. All right. Yes, sir. Do you agree these violations existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
Yes.
All right, I find the respondent in noncompliance. Mr. Inspector, how much time should reasonably be required for the respondent to come into compliance?
Mr. Pickelzi, this case was opened on February 10th, 2023 for damage, missing signs, missing roof, tiles, and damaged awning. There has been contact. First notification was March 2nd, 2023. Compliance April 2, 2023. Last inspection was May 4, 2023. Staff requested determination of non-compliance to come into compliance by next cutoff. The awnings have been removed, perimeter scaffold is in place, and work is commencing on the tile.
Back up and say that last part again. The awnings have been removed.
Awnings have been removed because they overhung the sidewalk, and the scaffold system itself is right up against the building. So they had to remove them anyway.
Okay, so we haven't repaired them, we've just removed them.
At this point, yes.
Okay, what else has been done?
The perimeter scaffold system is in place surrounding the building and with a permit, and they are commencing on work. The tiles torn off, and it's already been felted in, so it is in process.
So the roof is in process. What's going on with the sign?
That has not been...
Okay, I can tell, but without fixing the building, I didn't want to touch the sign because they put scaffold and it can get damaged. So I just spoke to, I just want to tell them from the beginning, I'm the tenant. This is the last person want to have roof is leaking. And we are begging all everyone on the same page, here. And we are begging the people come to fix this one is like 6 months. I had to do myself patch the roof, temporary, so be able to work in the building. So it's not because we don't want to fix it. The problem right now, obviously, even the city beach access not being fixed from the same hurricane, because we are all in the same page. There's not enough contract to fix the problem. And finally, we got the roof, and I'm begging for the sign company, but I just got it from one sign company. We can come in August, earliest possible. And only option, if I have to be faster than that, I have to take down the sign, I guess, because it's, right now it's not because I don't want to fix it, anything. Everything possible, we are ready to do it. But right now, everyone is booked.
Okay, when do we expect to have the building fixed?
Building is, I think it's almost done. And this awning, if it's not there, it's not a problem, right? Now, am I correct? It doesn't have the awning.
Are you going to replace it?
To replace it, but I'm not going to keep, either it's going to be off until fix it. So we're going to, even if it take 2-3 months, is it okay for the awning, or if it's not there, damaged one?
At this point, it's been removed. So it's basically in compliance.
So then we're working on the roof.
Correct.
When's the roof work going to be done?
Anytime. Right now is they're working on the roof second week, so it should be done soon. Only thing I cannot promise is sign, and I don't know, I need your recommendation too about that, because I don't think it's gonna done quick.
So as far as these violations are concerned, what I'm hearing is that the awning may be brought into compliance by its removal, and it's already been removed.
Correct.
And we have a permit in place, and we're working on the roof.
Correct.
Do we expect the roof to be done by June 7th?
Yeah.
Pardon?
Yeah, definitely. There's almost a month, for sure. For sure it will be fixed, the roof.
Mr. Vikelja, technically, with the size and the difficulties of that, I would suspect that roof application to take a little longer towards the end of the month, of this month. So it wouldn't be that bad of a deal.
Okay, I'm sorry. Has he applied for a permit, or does he have a permit?
He has a permit for the tile, for the tile application. It's a big job. So my suggestion would be to give him till the end of the month for that and extend it 2 months for the balance of the issues, for the sign as well as the awning. Are you going to be putting that awning back up soon?
I mean, as soon as I find someone to
Okay.
fix it. Yeah.
He'll have to get a permit when it goes back up anyway.
Yeah, so
Okay, I'm going to order, have I already found the respondent non-compliance?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to order the respondent to be in compliance with regard to the awning and the roof by July 5, 2023. And I'm going to order the respondent to be at the July 11, 2023 meeting to tell us when he's going to have that sign fixed.
okay, July.
So I'm basically giving you about 60 days to find yourself a sign contractor and figure out what to do. Because by July 11th, I'd like to be able to establish a compliance date on the sign. Now, as far as the awning and the roof is concerned, you're going to have those done by July 5th.
Yes.
And as far as the awnings are concerned, as far as replacing them or leaving them off, bringing it into compliance, you and he settle that. That's for he'll explain to you what you can or can't do in the way of coming into compliance.
Okay.
As I understand, so if I don't have the awning anyway.
Okay, hey, you can talk about it elsewhere.
Okay.
Okay, so by July 5, 2023, be in compliance with regard to the awning, whatever that solution may be, and the roof, and I'll see you here on July 11th for a progress report with regard to the sign. Okay?
Okay.
All right, good
Thank
luck
you.
to you. Case number 16, Donald Moore. You want this gentleman's card? Sir, do you need his card?
Oh, I don't have any.
Okay, all right. All right, not seeing a respondent, what say the city with regard to Donald Moore?
This case was opened on February 10, 2023 for no permit, peeling paint, rotted siding, hazardous electrical pole and meter. There's been no contact. First notification was March 2nd, 2023. Compliance was due April 2nd, 2023. Last inspection was April 27, 2023. Non-compliance to come into compliance by next cutoff. Also, we would like to ask for 10 days to fix the electrical system and 30 days on the balance of the violations. And the reason being is that that pole that's up on the outside has dropped almost 3 feet towards the ground. The meter is down off about 2 feet off the ground, and from what I can see on all the power that's coming from the main pole, it is hot. Problem is that that meter is so faded, I can't see whether it's working or not, and I've had no contact with the owner. I do know that the property owners right next to it have been nervously watching this because that structure's deteriorating almost to the point of demolition.
All right, noting the absence of the respondent based upon our inspector's testimony, I find the respondent in non-compliance and order the respondent to come into compliance within 10 days with regard to the electrical system and with regard to the balance of the violations to be in compliance by June 7, 2023. Failing to come into compliance on either of those dates, the respondent will be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 17, James N. and Linda Imsias.
Good morning.
Good morning. You would state your name and be sworn.
James M. Sais.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Mr. Imsias, do you agree these conditions existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
Yes.
All right, I find the respondent in non-compliance.
Pardon?
All right, Mr. Alderman, how much time should reasonably be required for the respondent to come into compliance?
At this point, I would ask for 30 days. I have, this was opened up in January, notified in February. Very, very little has been done. The communication I had with him this morning, he stated he had a lot of them done, but from the volume of issues, at least within the next 30 days.
All right, Mr. Size, the city seems to think you ought to be able to bring this property into compliance by June 7, 2023. What say you to that?
Well, I shut down permanently last week, basically. And I have a lot of health conditions. I called, most of these are done. Most of these are done. I told him this morning, I just need more time, basically. I have a lot of health conditions, and I brought like my health records with me. And I'm shutting the power off the end of next month. And I'm relisting the property for sale the end of next month. I just need till the end of next month. Because what's left...
What now?
I just need till the end of next month, end of June. I'm trying to find somebody what's left, I need help with it. I'm having a hard time finding people to come and help me, basically. We took out a loan, $51,000. We gave it to a licensed contractor. He stole the money. And I just filed the lawsuit against him. You know, you hire handymen, they come in, they get $50, $60, and they're gone. They don't come back, basically. But I shut the business permanently last week, and I'm gonna relist it next month for sale. And we have contamination issue on the property. We already filed with the state, and we are approved for a state program. They're gonna come and redo the whole parking lot, dig and clean all the soil out. We're just waiting for the final consent order to be signed, basically.
Do we have life safety issues here?
Well, he said he has removed the lighting from around the perimeter of the overhangs, which it had hanging wires. It was a mess. I will go by today and do a re-inspect to make sure that all that he said is done. But at this point, there are quite a few other electrical issues he has to take care of as well. Plugs, open accesses to the wiring, things like that.
Okay.
I'm gonna be shutting the power off the end of next month on the water.
All right, I'm going to give you good news and I'm going to give you bad news. The good news is I'm going to give you till July 5th to come into compliance. The bad news is this property is not to be rented, utilized, or occupied until such time as it's in compliance. I'm seeing a lot of the words hazardous, hazardous, hazardous.
I'm the only one who goes in there just to clean up.
I understand, but my point is, I want the property in compliance before it's utilized, which means by necessity, all these electrical issues will have been resolved, inspected, approved, and presumably prepared to be operational again. All right, failing either of those occurrences, the respondent will be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Okay, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Case number 18, Sirisha Gadaparty.
I'm Venkatachardi, Sirisha's husband.
Can you spell your first name?
V-E-N-K-A.
I'm sorry, say it again. Speak into your mic.
V-E-N-K-A-T-A. Last name is Cherdy, C-H-E-R-E-D-D-Y.
All right, raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
And your affiliation with Sirisha?
That's my wife.
Okay. All right, do you agree these violations existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
Yes, sir.
All right, I find the respondent in noncompliance. Mr. Inspector, how much time should reasonably be required?
That's fixed on the garage. Garbage enclosure is fixed. I fixed the big sign, the small sign.
Let the inspector speak, please.
How much time should reasonably be required for the respondent to come in?
Fixed,
I'm not talking to you. How much time should reasonably be required for the respondent to come into compliance?
Staff requests a determination on compliance to come into compliance by the next cutoff.
Okay. All right. Now, are you trying to tell us that some of this work has already been done?
Everything is done.
Everything is done. All right. Well, I'm going to allow you until June 7th of 2023 to come into compliance. So you've got all that time to make absolutely certain it's done. And we don't consider it done until you've called for this inspector. He's come out, he's done his inspection, and he's reported back to us that everything's in compliance. Understood?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'll allow the respondent until June 7, 2023 to come into compliance or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Okay, good luck to you. Case number 20, MHC AE1 LLC. Is there anyone here for the respondent? Yes, ma'am. If you would please state your name and be sworn.
My name is Jody Kestner, Jodikesner.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
Ms. Kestner, do you agree these conditions existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
Yes, I do.
All right, I find the respondent in noncompliance. Mr. Inspector, how much time should reasonably be required for this respondent to come into compliance?
Are we on 537?
We are on 1104
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
North Nova Road.
Good. I didn't take my
Case
compliance out.
19 is in compliance.
Yes. This case was opened on March 6th for damaged sign, rusting traffic poles, graffiti, loose metal roofing, trash and debris, loose hanging wires, landscape maintenance, multicolored retaining walls, peeling paint, damaged wooden fence, and damaged exterior doors.
That's the wrong page.
Pardon?
Okay, you've got me totally lost.
Page number 20 is the one we're doing, which is,
I've got peeling paint, loose metal roofing, damaged gate / fence.
you're doing number 21.
Uh-oh.
1104 North Nova.
Pardon?
1104 North Nova.
Hold on a minute, I got out of order. No, hold on. Excuse me a minute, Mr. Vakelja.
Take your time.
Okay, anyway. They should be able to, I was over there yesterday, the roof is partially done, the damaged gate's been repaired, the loose metal roofing is almost repaired, and the peeling paint has not been done as of yesterday. Staff requested a determination to come into compliance by next cutoff.
City seems to think you ought to be able to finish up what's left by June 7, 2023. What say you to that?
I actually brought my roofer here. He has to order more products because he found issues. If you have any questions, he seems to think we'll need 4 to 6 weeks because we're waiting on materials coming in
To do what?
to finish the roof.
What's the problem with the roof that you didn't know about?
When he pulled these metal pieces up, they found rotting wood underneath. So he has to make the project bigger to finish the roof. So it's going to require more metal and decking put underneath to secure it.
Okay, so you already have a roofing permit? Okay, are they going to require, aren't they going to require a roofing permit?
Yes.
All right, so you need to get a permit, and then you need to get your roofer up there. And you're estimating this is going to take 4 to 6 weeks because of shortage of materials?
Yes.
Okay. What's the situation with the peeling paint and the damaged gate / fence?
He said that the damaged fence was in compliance, that it was fixed, he was there.
Is that right?
We had the power washing for the peeling paint, so where is this area? Okay, so the power washing guy came out twice, and he still is gonna have to come back and do that. I did not see that area.
Okay. And this roof, you are absolutely moving forward with this, so if I give you a little more time than what they've suggested, you're not going to make me look like a fool?
No, sir. That's why I brought my roofer today, to make sure that I know you're serious.
Okay, I'll allow the respondent until July 5, 2023 to come into compliance or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Okay, if you start running short on time, let the inspector know what's going on and go get that permit.
I think he's going to do it this week.
All right. Okay. Make sure
Thank you
get that
very
permit.
much.
Good luck to you. Case number 21, Pincus and Ava Mamane. Anyone here for the respondent? What say the city?
This case was opened March 6, 2023 for damaged sign, rusting traffic poles, graffiti, loose metal fence, or loose metal roofing, trash debris, loose hanging wires, landscape maintenance, multicolored retainer walls, peeling paint, damaged wooden fence, and a damaged exterior door. There has been contact. The first notification was March 6th. Compliance was April 5, 2023. Last inspection was 5/4/2023. They have been making progress. A lot of it's done, except for the landscape, basically. So staff requests a determination of non-compliance to come into compliance next cutoff.
Okay, well, I'm looking at some pretty hideous pictures here, and they're all on US 1.
Correct.
So what have the owners done so far?
All those yellow poles have been repainted. The metal edges have been reattached. The trees have been lifted except for the back fence with the vines. The fence has been repaired in the back, and the litter, trash, and debris has been picked up.
Okay. And so how much time are you looking to give them?
30 days, next cutoff.
All right. All right, noting the absence of the respondent, based upon our inspector's testimony, I find the respondent in noncompliance and order the respondent to come into compliance by June 7, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 22, same respondents, Pincus and Ava Mamane, 830 North Beach Street, advertising closed business. Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
This case was opened on February 10, 2023 for incorrect sign display. There has been contact. First notification was February 13th. Compliance due March 13th. Last inspection was May 4th, 2023. Staff requested determination of non-compliance to come into compliance next cutoff.
So what's the violation, that they have that sign out there with no business inside?
Well, they have a business, but it's not the correct business. They're actually supplying clothing items to the beachside vendors. None of the stuff that they show on there. The big sign has been removed, but it's still displaying the lower writing that shows things that just aren't happening at that location.
Okay.
And they do know about it. I talked to the office manager across the street at the main office.
Noting the absence of the respondent, based upon our inspector's testimony, I find the respondent to be in noncompliance and order the respondent to come into compliance by June 7, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 23, Stefan Lieb. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
This case was opened on March 28, 2023. For hole in the exterior wall, healing, fading metal roofing, overgrown landscape, trash and debris, junk vehicles, damaged fencing, and expired BT. There has been contact. Contact is with the actual property owner because it appears that the business owner has basically abandoned this location. First notification was March 28th, 2023. Compliance due April 28th, 2023. Last inspection, May 3. Staff requested determination of non-compliance to come into compliance by the next cutoff. And it's a mess.
Pardon?
It's a mess.
Who's the owner? Stefan Lieb?
Libby, the real estate agent, Trish Kaiser.
Okay, has anybody been in communication with the owner?
Yes, Trish Kaiser has called me and told me that they're having problems finding the business owner to get him to remove the junk that he has left behind.
You keep saying the business owner. Do we have a property owner here for a response?
That's the Kaiser Realty, Trish Kaiser.
Is the property owner?
Yes.
What we say?
Pardon?
Oh, I've never been able to get it. No. Why do we have this? This is. You need this.
Yes. They posted it and they called me back.
All right. We'll probably get them in there.
On this particular property, I've called 4 different phone numbers for the Libby and no answer. None of them were even working. So the property was posted the day after I opened it, and the property or the business owner is the one that called me. So they have been notified by posting. But Libby, I have no idea.
Okay, but Stefan Levy is not the property owner?
Correct.
I'm looking for a property owner to hammer for the condition of this
Yeah,
property.
I believe he's in error. This is for my inspector. That's indicating the property owner be Mr. Levy,
Oh, you're right.
at least from the research apparently of the staff support. It appears Mr. Levy's the property owner.
Okay, good. There you go. That's all I want to hear. Perfect.
At least from the tax record, tax code. We haven't told anything else.
All right, so let's get back to business here. I find the respondent in non-compliance, and how much time are you giving him to come into compliance?
Staff requested a determination of non-compliance to come into compliance by next cutoff.
And I'll order the respondent to come into compliance by June 7, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 24, Lloyd Willie Mae Estate, and I believe we have a Zoom attendee.
Must be Miss Ann.
And let me take this background off. But anyway, the personal representative for the estate,
Yes, ma'am, your name?
Cynthia Lloyd,
Can you give me the last name again?
Lloyd, Lloyd.
Cynthia Lloyd. And did I hear you say you're the personal representative for the estate?
Yes, sir.
All right, if you would please be sworn by our secretary.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Ms. Lloyd, do you agree these conditions existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
Yes, sir.
All right, I find the respondent in noncompliance. Mr. Inspector, how much time should reasonably be required for this estate to bring this property into compliance?
Staff requested determination of non-compliance to come into compliance next cutoff.
The city seems to think you ought to be able to have this property brought into compliance by June 7, 2023. What say you to that?
Yes, sir. I actually got photographs this morning from the repairman saying that all of this was cleared up, taken care of, but I forwarded those to to the inspector just this morning. So I don't know if he's had time to, well, I know he didn't have time to go back and see it with his own eyes. He only possibly received those by text message and more than likely since he didn't have time to go back out. Yes, that'll be enough time.
Very good. Then I will order the respondent to be in compliance by June 7, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Where are you at, Ms. Lloyd?
I'm in Houston, Texas. The background, I'm sorry, is I'm at at the campus where I work, but I'm in Houston, Texas.
Okay. All right. I feel the need to just caution you that when we have sort of an absentee owner dealing with local folks, you got to stay on top of them, because although you're not going to want to hear it, you're the person that we're going to be looking to see to it that this gets done. So by all means, please stay in touch with your crew and make sure they're being candid with you as far as what is or is not getting done.
In other words, don't accept their lies. Thank you.
Yeah, that's one way of putting it. Okay, good luck to you.
They sent me a bill beforehand, so I got the bill before it turned out they hadn't done the work. So I do agree with you, and thank you for the warning.
Okay, good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right. Case number 25, G&I 7 Bel Air Plaza LLC. And I have us scheduled for another Zoom attendee for this one. Are you expecting company? Yes, we have company for you. All right, yes, sir. If you would state your name.
George Moore.
George Moore. And you know who's attending? Yes, ma'am. If you would state your name.
I'm Kat Woodman with Nightingale Realty.
Your name again, please.
Katharina Woodman with Nightingale Realty.
All right, folks.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Moore, your affiliation with the respondent is what?
I'm the store manager at this Walgreens location.
The store manager of the what location?
The Walgreens location.
Okay. And ma'am, your affiliation with the property?
I'm the senior property manager as representative for the landlord.
Okay, very good. Now, between the two of you, do you agree these conditions existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, then I find the respondent in noncompliance. Let's hear from the city as far as how much time they think should reasonably be required for you to come into compliance. Mr. Alderman, what say the city?
Well, at this point, the permit has been approved. The contractor for the signs, they have decided the location of the base of the pole sign, which was the biggest issue apparently that they had. So I haven't talked to them specifically about a time to final this yet, but it should be within, I would think, start with 30 days.
Okay, the city's suggesting, based on what we know so far, that you could be in compliance by within 30 days. What say the respondent?
What I have from AGI, who's the company doing the work, is that the sign cabinet is being fabricated. It's expected to be installed by June 30th.
Okay. Did you want to add anything?
No, we're good with that.
All right, then I'm going to order the respondent to come into compliance by July 5, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Sounds like we've got a pretty tight time frame here, so if there's any wrinkle in the program, notify your inspector immediately. As long as we know that there are things cropping up, then we're very accommodating people. When we get ignored, we're not very accommodating people. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Case number 26, John L. Dunbar. Good morning.
State your name.
Jonathan Dunbar.
Raise your hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Mr. Dunbar, do you agree these conditions existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
Yes.
Okay. I find the respondent in noncompliance. Mr. Inspector, how much time should reasonably be required for the respondent to come into compliance?
Because we're actually into the continued cases on Mr. Dunbar, so this would be the determination of whether imposition of a fine.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're here for the imposition of a fine. Thank you. All right, let's hear from our inspector.
Since last hearing, there has been contact, there has been no progress. Staff requests a fine of $100 per day to a cap of $10,000. But we do have mitigating circumstances potentially with Mr. Dunbar.
Am I going to hear about those mitigating circumstances from you or Mr. Dunbar?
Mr. Dunbar.
What are the mitigating circumstances?
It's just, I've been trying real hard, and I apologize. To try to get this done. I have the handyman services came out here last month and started. He did all the measurements, took the notes. He already had told us it was going to be a while before he got out, but I told him the circumstances about us getting fined and I'm going to these hearings. So he made an effort to get out probably toward the ending of last month. He came out to the property, he measured everything, he took everything down. I'm on him, I've been contacting him every day to make sure that he gets these blueprints to us so I can have him and get the job started, because the guy don't want to start the job until we have the blueprints together and they're done. So what Mr. Tony, the owner of the blueprint services, he assured me that they'll be done within the next 2 weeks, my blueprints. He told me to come in and let you know that he promised me he's making sure that I have these blueprints within 2 weeks and we can start the job and get the job done. He asked me for a little bit more time to see if I could come in and ask you to give me a little more time for him to get me the blueprints that I needed, and we could start with the subcontractor and go ahead and start getting it done. Now, what I have done, which I didn't know anything about this, I'm taking over my dad's affairs. My dad has come down with dementia real bad. We just had to put a silver alert out on him. We found him in St. Augustine. He left, drove the car, and we found him in St. Augustine about 2 o'clock at night. So right now it's kind of new, like I'm saying, I'm taking over all his affairs, and I'm trying to go ahead and get this done,
What is handyman services?
He's the apprentice that came out to do the blueprints.
Is this like a general, does anybody, handyman services, have a general contractor's license?
I believe so. He told me that you would be familiar with him if I came in here. He said that his name is kind of familiar up here with you guys. Say he done a few businesses.
Are you familiar with this outfit, Mr. Alderman?
No, not him specifically.
Okay, is this gentleman going to need a licensed contractor to do the work?
Yes, to apply for the permit, yes.
And handyman services include? I
Yes.
don't know anything about them.
Yes,
They're
yes.
telling you they got a licensed contractor somewhere.
No, we're going to get our own contractor. What we were doing, we were pulling the homeowner's permit. He was drawing up the blueprints for us to redo our steps, for ourselves. We were pulling the homeowner's permit. That's what we're filing for. So what I had went and did was pulled up the building permit to start the demo. Like I said, my dad can't help me. I got to go through my mom. We were going to fill out this permit today and get it back down by Friday to start the demo until he was able to come with the blueprint. But like I say, he assured me today.
Okay, are these the stairs I'm looking at?
Yes, sir.
Is this a single-family home or an apartment building or what?
Yes, well, it's a 3-bedroom actually upstairs, and there are 2 units downstairs, but they're not getting rented. There's
So it's a multi-family structure?
Right, it's a multi-family structure, sir.
Okay, and those stairs are closed off?
Yes, sir. They're not getting used, they're closed off.
Okay, what have we done about the garbage accumulation
It's cleaned up.
and the landscaping maintenance?
It is kept cleaned
So
up.
it's the stairs?
Yes.
Yes, I came
All
in
right,
compliance
so your
with
drafts,
everything.
it sounds like you got a draftsman. So you got a draftsman putting together some plans, then you're
yeah.
going to get a contractor to fix the stairs.
Right, right.
And have the stairs been secured to city standards?
It was last time I was out there, yes.
Okay,
Still the same.
all right.
Can I ask him a quick question?
Yes, sir.
What is the vehicle that handyman services? What's it look like?
He's a truck. He has like a gray Chevy truck.
Okay.
It's like a gray Chevy truck. I know he keeps.
Yellow signs?
I believe he has some signs on the back. I'm not sure, but I have his phone number and everything. Like I did when I talked to him this morning when I was just out in the lobby. He assured me that I thought he said that you guys might know who he is. He's like, well, my name's pretty known in the city. He done a few jobs and stuff like that.
The reason I ask is because I did see a handyman services truck yesterday with an LLC on it. I didn't pay much attention, but it just caught my eye because it sounds kind of odd. So it is possible.
So you're hoping to have blueprints within the next couple weeks?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And then you have a contractor ready to go?
Yes, he doesn't, I have, yes, sir.
And the contractor's going to have to pull a permit to fix the steps.
Right.
All right, and how long are we thinking all that's going to take?
I would like to amend to the next cutoff, July cutoff.
Okay.
Is that for the job to get done itself, or just to, make sure that I'm started? Is that like a check-in?
Okay, I'm going to amend our current order of noncompliance to allow the respondent until July 5, 2023 to come into compliance or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Okay, so let me tell you what the lay of the land is. Oh, and I'm going to further order that those stairs be secured to city standards and not utilized until such time as the property is brought into compliance. Okay, I'm giving you the couple of weeks to get your plans.
Yes, sir.
I'm giving you about a month to get the work done once
Yes,
you get
sir.
your plans.
Yes, sir.
And I'm hoping it's all done, and in the meantime, you've got to make sure those stairs are secured to city standards so nobody gets hurt.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And, I'm hearing a few ifs and buts here, if I get my plans, and if my contractor gets my permit, and if he gets out there right away, then we could probably have this done by July 5th. All right, well, you run into hiccups along the way, make sure you let the inspector know what's going on.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, good luck to you.
Thank you, thank you.
Case number 27, Daytona Dollar LLC, and I believe we have a Zoom attendee.
Hello?
Yes, sir, if you would please state your name.
Leonardo Ronfo.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, sir, your affiliation with Dollar Daytona LLC?
Owner.
All right, we are here for the imposition of a fine, so let's hear from our inspector.
Since last hearing, there has been contact. There has been no progress. Staff requests a fine of $200 per day to a cap of $20,000.
Yes, sir, your last name again?
Kronfle.
Okay.
Krofle.
Okay, why is this matter not in compliance yet?
So I have the tenant's contractor in this Zoom. He's been dealing with permitting issues since last time we met, which was about 2 months ago. We're moving forward, but he can give you more details on what's going on today.
Well, I got to be honest with you, that's pretty nebulous, and he's wanting me to fine you now. And this matter's been pending for some time, so is that as much as you've got to offer?
I mean, yeah, we've been trying to, according to our contractor, we've been trying to deal with the permitting department for quite a while. So the issue is just back and forth with the permitting offices and the contractors not having the right blueprints and so on. But our contractors have more details on that.
Is your contractor here today?
Yes.
I am, yes, sir.
Okay, what's going on, Mr. Contractor? I can't see you, but I can hear you.
I apologize, sir. My name is Elias Abner.
And you need to be sworn by our secretary.
Yes, sir.
So we do need to see you.
I'm working on the camera right now.
Super.
Right. State your name.
My name is Elias Abner.
Raise Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
What are these permitting issues I'm hearing about?
So in February, our original crew applied for or went to apply for a permit and was told that we had to establish as a Volusia County preferred vendor. We had some struggles getting in the Volusia County system with that vendor, so we went with another contractor who got into the Volusia County system. And then when we applied for a permit, we're told that the building plans that we had submitted did not have the proper material. So we rewrote the blueprints. Then we went to resubmit for permitting. At that point, we were told that we needed a sealed electronic drawing along with a sealed survey, which we did not have at the time. I spoke with Kim Flaherty in permitting, and she approved the survey that I did have to be used. I spoke with Steve Alderman and used a vendor that he recommended that has done some work in Daytona Beach. That vendor applied for a permit yesterday using the survey that Kim approved, and we're waiting approval on the permit currently. Once that permit is approved, we'll be able to begin work within 7 days with a completion time of 9 to 12 days pending material.
Okay. Mr. Alderman, what can you tell me about this permit? What I'm hearing is some sort of a permitting delay.
Most of it has been through the process of getting the building department to agree with what they're doing, which is really not that big of a job. It's a small one. It's, as you can see, the dumpsters are now been removed from the west side to the east because there was such a mess on the side street. That area has been kept clean. It's the perfect location for it. It was approved by Sandra Van Cleef back in January 19. So where the mess up has been basically on them trying to get a contractor that they approve, and it is approved by the city as well.
And did that cause some delay in the respondent coming into compliance?
Apparently, yes, because they have not been able to get the approval from the city to install this fencing.
So they had a contractor they had proposed at one point in time that the city rejected?
The county did.
The county did?
Yes. And all the inner workings in their corporate level, I don't really know them all, other than the fact that I know I was dealing with a number of people involved with the Family Dollar, and it was just not going well.
Okay, so what's left to be done? This trash containment structure?
Correct.
Do we have all the ingredients in place now or not?
As far as I understand, yes. They're at that point of they're going to utilize AAA, and they've expedited, supposedly, I've actually talked to the AAA company. They're going to expedite it as quick as they can and get over there and get it done. 2-day job.
And we've been dealing with this since May of '22?
Actually, January 19.
January 19 of '22?
23.
Pardon?
23.
All right. So we're going to have this thing in by June 7th or not?
Yes, sir. Absolutely, as long as we get the approval for permit.
I'm going to give you one more extension, then I'm going to fine you if it's not in. We clear?
Absolutely. Thank you, sir.
All right, I'm going to amend our current order of noncompliance, which, by the way, is about the 4th or 5th amended order of noncompliance, but never mind that. I'm going to amend our current order of noncompliance to allow the respondent until June 7, 2023 to come into compliance or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Good luck to you. Please get it done.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Case number 28, Mesa Nova Daytona LLC. Anyone here for the respondent? Oh, I believe we've got a Zoom attendee.
I have to go. I'm having the court meeting now. I just wanted your, I wanted
Yes,
to
sir.
know-
If you would please state your name.
Hello?
Yeah.
All right, Kim, I'll let you deal with him.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, I'm sorry. Could you hear me?
I can hear you.
I'm trying to start my video. Sorry. Unable to access camera. Please allow Zoom. Sorry. Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can't see you.
Oh, boy.
And your voice doesn't match the picture of the guy I'm looking at.
Oh, 1 second. Sorry. Start video. I'm trying to start my video. Oh, boy. Is it working? No. Oh, boy. I'm so sorry. Is it possible to speak and Mr. Brody can Mr. Brody can also speak if necessary?
All right, let's back up. Let's start with you, sir. What's your name?
Brian Brody.
All right, what's your affiliation with Mesa Nova Daytona LLC?
The owner.
All right. Kim, would you swear this gentleman, please?
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right, who's the lady whose voice I keep hearing?
My name is Deborah Davidzada, and I'm the manager. I manage the property.
All right. Can we swear this person without seeing them or not?
We cannot.
All right. And the gentleman's last name was Bodie?
Brody.
Brody.
B-R-O-D-Y.
All right, Mr. Brody, looks like you're the spokesman today. Feel free to consult with the lady as much as you need to. We're here for the imposition of a fine, so let's hear what the city of Daytona Beach has to say first. Mr. Alderman?
Well, sir, since the last hearing, there has been contact and there has been progress. Staff request amend to the next cutoff for the last two sign faces that are almost ready to go installed. All the three of the signs are done. Everything else has been done completely. These are in particular just were in compliance yesterday. There were three of these structures that were completely overgrown to the point to where you could not see those transformers. And I just went out yesterday and FPL had finally been contacted by Ms. DeVorde, and they actually cleaned it up. There's a very select crew from FPL's opinion that can even walk in those buildings. So getting it done was an accomplishment. And that's what it looked like before they cut it, actually.
So in any event, what little is left to be done, you think should be done by June 7th?
Two sign faces, the one pole sign up the front and the sub-hub.
Did you hear all that?
Yes.
Yes, we did.
Are you in agreement with all that?
Well, I could just say, excuse me, but May 1st was the sub-hub sign was approved so I'm hoping that they're going to have that sub-hub sign up, but it was paid for by, to the sign company, and I'm really hoping that it will be taken care of within the month,
Well, go kick some butt and get it done.
Okay.
All right, I'm ordering the respondent to be in compliance by June 7, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for a consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. The inspector seems to suggest you're pretty close to being done, so let's get it done.
Okay.
All right, good luck to you. And if you run into problems along the way, please stay in touch with our inspector.
I will. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Case number 29, Daniel M. and Hasun Makun. Anyone here for the respondent? What say the city?
Since last hearing, there has been no contact and there has been no progress. Staff requests a fine of $200 a day to a cap of $20,000.
So what's the problem?
The main remaining issue is the sign base, the sign face, and paint underneath the overhangs, the exposed wire, and that black picture right there at the bottom, there's a hole in it, and it was basically covered over with a product I've never seen before, like a black vinyl, just to cover up the bullet hole or whatever it was that caused the hole.
Have you been in communication with the owner?
Not since last hearing, no.
Why not?
I haven't called her.
Okay. She have your number?
Yes.
She made any effort to call you?
No.
All right. How much did they do in the way of repairs? I've got a broken window, sign maintenance, peeling paint, trash and debris, overgrown landscaping, unlicensed vehicle parking. Has any of that been remedied?
All of it's been remedied except for the sign.
Except
and
for the sign.
And the window.
And the window.
The paint is, the paint on the poles was done up as far as they could reach, but, I mean, that's about the best they could do.
Okay. All right. Noting the absence of the respondent based upon our inspector's testimony, particularly with regard to the quantum of work done to date or the quantum of work not done to date, I'm finding the respondent the sum of $200 per day, commencing May 4, 2023, and that fine will continue to accrue each day thereafter until the property is in compliance or the amount of the fine has reached the sum of $20,000. Case number 30, Victory Temple of God Incorporated. I believe we have another Zoom attendee.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. If you would please state your name.
R.T. Hillary.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, I have this down for a progress report. So have you got some progress to report?
Yes, I sent it to the inspector. The site plan, the minor site plan review is still ongoing on the city side, and they're gonna, get back to us as soon as possible. They sent that over to us on last week, so I was trying to make sure I had an update. But other than that, we've taken care of the yard and everything like that.
All right, so Mr. Inspector, I hear you have, what, a site plan now?
Yes, it has been submitted to the city. I have checked with them. They are in the process of reviewing it. As stated, I have had contact, and they are maintaining the property, all the landscaping and so forth. They're keeping it mowed and everything. Of course, they still have, as you can see from the picture, some canvas over some of the holes in the roof, but it's going through the site plan review with the city. It was submitted on April 13th.
How many different structures are on this property?
4.
And you're planning on resurrecting all of them?
Yes, sir.
And the site plan that you have is for all 4 buildings?
I don't have it personally. It was submitted to the permit department.
So you haven't seen it yet?
I have not seen it, no, sir.
Does this site plan address all 4 buildings?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what's the next step in the process here? What's the next milestone?
Once they give us the approval of the site plan, we can move forward with taking care of where that blue tarp is. We have to redo that roof on that building, right, well, we're gonna redo the roof on all of the buildings, but that's the first one we'll get started with, to get rid of the tarp.
You know, give me a little history. How does it come to pass that we have 4 buildings that collectively just get into this kind of condition? Was this property just abandoned for some extended period of time?
I don't know, we bought it. We bought it. And we started the permit process, and this is where we are now.
Okay. All right, when do you expect to have site plan approval?
She didn't give me that date. She just said as soon as they finish answering their questions, they'll get back with us.
So once you have site plan approval, you're going to start picking pieces of this to knock off,
Yes,
I
sir.
assume?
Yes, sir.
Well, I can't see us doing anything other than setting another progress report next month. Can anybody else think of anything? Okay, all right, well, I'll go ahead and put you on next month's agenda as well for an update. If you have your site plan approval at that point, then I guess we will start addressing some sort of interim compliance dates. Once you start laying out for us what your construction schedule is going to look like.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll see you in June.
Okay, see you next month.
You have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Case number 31, Willie Gilmore. Anyone here for the respondent? Good morning.
My name's Juliet Parker, and I'm here. Willie Gilmore is my dad.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Your last name again?
Parker.
All right, we're here for the imposition of a fine, so let's hear from the city.
Yes, we have had contact throughout the progress this last month. There has been progress. The permit was issued for the windows on April 11th. So we would like to amend to the next cutoff. They should be in compliance before then.
Okay, so the city is suggesting that if we give you another extension to June 7th, you ought to have it done by then. What say you to that?
I agree.
Okay.
And I do have a question because it's hard. We are making slow progress, and I wanted to know if there is a possibility because the unit is not being rented. I think there's like smoke detector issues and things like that. If there's a way that we won't have to continuously come back and give the progress reports because it's taking contractors forever to come in because it's small work. It's hard to have them come out and like.
Well, is this the end of it that we're talking about right now?
Yes, for this violation, the window is the last thing that is the problem with this. So this will close this violation.
Yes, and I think it's a dumpster on there also, the dumpster enclosure, which we had been speaking with the building department on the dumpster enclosure. They are asking us to actually build it according to this new city, well, it's not new city code, but according to the city detail for the dumpster enclosure.
Is the dumpster enclosure part of this violation?
No, it is not.
Okay.
Do you have any other little sins you want to mention while you're here?
No.
We're trying to get you out of here.
No, window is okay, and I'm good,
Okay.
and if we don't have to come
All right,
back.
well, let's take care. I forgot what we were talking about. What was it, a window?
Yes.
All right, I will amend our current order of noncompliance to allow the respondent until June 7, 2023 to come into compliance or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. And from what I'm hearing, it's just this window that y'all are talking about. And if the city's discussing something about a dumpster enclosure with you, from what I understand, that's not part of this violation.
Okay.
So that would be, I guess, something else for you to deal with. But my point is, you don't, from what I understand, need to worry about that as far as closing this out.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, and
I would think you'd want to close
I do
this
want to
out.
stand corrected. There was, the dumpster was part of this, but that had been corrected for the inspector. So
Good.
that's why it was not part of
That's why
what
it
was still
wasn't on there.
exists, was
Okay,
still
so they resolved it.
outstanding, so.
Okay, because we were going back and forth then, so I guess they resolved it, so I'm happy.
I
Thank
suggest
you.
you leave without saying anything
I'm
more.
on my way back to Orlando.
All right, have a good day.
Thank you.
Case 32, Andre Rondeau and Odette Peralt.
Good.
Gentlemen, if you would please state your names and be sworn.
My name's Austin Shields.
Michael Baxter.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth? Thank you.
I didn't hear anyone say Andre Rondeau or Odette Peralt, so what's y'all's affiliation with this property?
I take care of Andre's properties for him.
Okay,
I got power of attorney over his property.
very good. That works for me. All right, we're here for the imposition of a fine, so let's hear what the city has to say.
Good morning, John Stinson, Code Inspector with the city. My qualifications are on file. Since the last hearing, I've had no communication with the property owners. There has been no visible progress on the property, and the city is asking for the imposition of a fine of $250 per day to be capped at $20,000.
What's up, guys?
Okay, so with the 506 Halifax, that whole corner area over there, Andre has not been in the States. He's having some health issues, things like that. He is selling the property. Does have somebody that wants to buy the property and take over and handle with all the everything that needs done, all the violations and everything. They're aware of all them, and he's a realtor dealing with that.
And we have a signed sales contract, so he's asking just for some more time. The buyer is aware of the issues and is planning on renovating and redeveloping what's there. But it just hasn't been time because he's been out of the
30
country.
more days.
And I could show that if you're interested.
What do you want to do, Tony? I guess the good news is we're ridding ourselves of Andre. And the carrot is that we're supposed to get a new citizen who's going to turn this into Disney World. When are you supposed to close?
May 26th.
Okay, they're supposed to close May 26th. What do you want to do?
And I have a contract too if you'd like to see. I brought it.
We've seen contracts before.
Okay.
Yeah, that's our problem.
Sometimes they close, sometimes they don't.
Right. And typically and historically, we generally don't consider pending sales as a reason for property to not be brought into compliance. It may have been helpful if there was a lot of communication to have known where it was going, but even so, there hasn't been. Has there been any progress at all in terms of the resolving the conditions?
No, sir.
Okay.
So let me understand this. Andre decided to let this eyesore just sit there and fester locally for all of us residents. And now he wants to sell it, and he's got a prospective purchaser who's telling us that he's going to do what?
So they're going to bring the units into compliance, rent them all. Unfortunately, I know Andre is having trouble with tenants and just getting. I've shown the property. If you have a recent picture, my sign is up at the property. So ultimately, they're going to be doing a lot more good than is being done there. But I know there have been some roadblocks with doing work, getting access to the units. I've actually had a very tough time showing the units because of two tenants.
How many units are there?
Well, there's two different parcels that are mentioned here, but there altogether are seven. Seven that are being sold. So there's three parcels that are being sold all to the same person. So there's Halifax, 506, and then the next one I imagine that we're going to be doing is Oak Ridge, 209 Oak Ridge.
That's awful.
This started in March of this year?
That's, that would be the posting date. That, I can't see that being correct. I've got it being posted on 13 February of this year.
That's the next one. So was that for both of them?
They both were done at the same time, that's correct, 506 and 209.
Well, as much as I'd like to hammer Andre, we've been dealing with this for just 90 days?
That is correct, sir.
Okay, well, presumably Andre's already notified the prospective purchaser of these violations.
Yes, sir, for sure.
Right.
And for what it's worth, she's an investor with many properties in Volusia.
Is that good?
Well, she's not here today, so it might be a good sign.
Where's Andre located?
He's in Costa Rica right now.
What warrants $250 a day? Just out of curiosity.
This is
It's something that's 90 days old.
This is a tenant complaint. The listed issues don't actually cover everything that is an issue on the property. This is one of 3 properties owned by the same property owner. There are quite a bit of issues on all 3 properties. So you have the 506, the 209, and another property that's not mentioned here. But I already have a running fund on that property as well. Apparently, the tenants and this landlord haven't been on the same sheet of music, and there has just been no progress whatsoever as far as correcting the violations or as far as general maintenance on the properties. So this is the result of lack of maintenance.
Yeah, any life safety issues here we're talking about?
No, sir, not at this point. Actually, on the we haven't gotten to that case yet, so I'll save that for 209.
So we got crappy maintenance and we've been ignored by the owner, and this has been going on for about 90 days.
That's correct, sir.
And this is the first time it's here for the imposition of a fine.
For the fine, yes, sir.
What?
If I can say, with these properties right here that he's mentioning, the tenant that has made numerous things, she started working for Andre, helping him take care of his things for probably, I want to say, not even maybe 6 months, maybe a little longer, maybe 8 months, somewhere there, maybe a year at the maximum. Her and Andre got an altercation, and that's when she started calling code constantly, taking him to all the properties, opening all the doors, even when tenants weren't there, opening them up.
Well, if Andre had picked up the phone and explained that to my inspector instead of ignoring him.
Andre has talked to him about that numerous times.
You've spoken to the owner?
I've spoken to this property owner one time, and the gist of that conversation was his dealings with, I guess, his property manager, his former property manager.
Which is her, yes, the one that started making all these problems.
That part I don't know about, but she is the one who brought the conditions to my attention.
All right, well, let me get back to the property owner somewhere along the way, say, I will take care of these violations.
He did not allude to that. He just expressed his unhappiness with his then current property manager, his thoughts on how she was basically out to get him on all his properties, and the conversation really wasn't productive. It's moving forward to compliance.
Okay, well, when he's confronting a representative of the city of Daytona Beach who's notifying him of violations of our building and zoning codes, did he have anything to say about coming into compliance?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. Who's Odette Peralt?
Andre's wife. Yeah.
Now, my inclination, I guess I just need to verbalize this because I don't want to spend the whole day on it. My inclination, if I were going to be as objective as I could, would be to give this property owner another 30 days to come into compliance, or failing that, tell him I'm going to fine him. It might even be to impose a fine at the end of those 30 days. Now, if the property sells in the interim, what does that do to all that? Does the case
new owner
continue
would-
on?
Yes, the case will continue on. The new owner, because it's an active case, it'd be coming in as a, the new owner would be added to the case. So Andre would remain, and the new owner would be added as a respondent. And they would get an additional 30 days to comply, or additional hearing date.
Okay. All right, well, I'm going to try to get back to basics here and get myself out of all the family feuding that's going on here. So, I'm going to allow the respondent another opportunity to come into compliance. And if he fails to come into compliance by June 7, 2023, then he'll be returned here for me to consider the imposition of a fine that could be up to $1,000 per day thereafter.
Thank you.
We've just had this long conversation here, so if this property is not in compliance by June 7th, then somebody can be reasonably confident that there's going to be a fine. Apparently, the new property owner's intervention is something I guess we'll deal with if and when. I don't mean to insult you, but sometimes these things fall through.
I will, yes.
But I will deal with the new property owner if and when he surfaces. So, all I can do is my job, which is to tell the property owner, and I'm giving him additional time because this matter is relatively new. I don't care about his problems with his former property manager. I hear the tenant issues, the property, whatever. Not my headache. Not my headache. So, but giving the relative recency of the case, I'll allow additional time, but I'm not thrilled with the fact that nobody has approached our inspector yet to tell him when this property is going to be brought into compliance. So I'm just going to play it straight up. So that having been said, I'll amend our current order of noncompliance to allow the respondent until June 7, 2023 to come into compliance or be returned for consideration of fine is up to $1,000 per day thereafter. And I am going to urge the property owner to notify any prospective purchaser that there are these proceedings pending.
Yes, sir.
Very good. All right. Good luck, gentlemen.
Thank you.
That's about as wise as I'm feeling today.
For the next one.
Yeah, the next
You're the next one, too.
It's all one.
Armin Real Estate LLC?
Did we cover
no, that
32
was-
and 33 on that one?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm on 32. Okay.
Yeah, we're 32.
So that was 32. All right, 33. Andre Rondo and Odette Peralt. This time we're at 209 Oak Ridge Boulevard, here for the imposition of a fine. All right, we already have our participants, so let's hear from the city with regard to case 33.
This is almost a carbon copy of the previous case. The only issue, there is a life safety issue with this particular property, and that's the electrical system. You're looking at a room that is below the apartments now by the water heater, and the electrical is just a hazard. We'd like the life safety issues to be corrected within 10 days. And we are asking for the fine on this property as well.
Okay, is this property occupied?
Yes,
So we have a tenant in there.
correct.
Just a tenant complaint again?
Yes, it is.
Is the tenant a manager again?
Same
Yes,
lady.
it is.
It's the same, this is part of
And the lady don't live in that building, she lives in the building in the front, she complained about it to try to make it.
this is another
Again, that's a garage.
property that's being sold to the same buyer.
That's a garage right there, and the same buyer's buying the same stuff. And the lady that made the issues, her daughter lives in the one behind that.
Okay, we have outside storage, exterior walls, damaged roof, damaged stairs, damaged handrails, broken. Sounds like we got lots of work. You're telling me this property is going to be sold as well?
Yeah, same buyer, so this is a combination of several properties that we're selling as a package to. It's the same buyer that's buying this is right next door to the case number 3. Oak Ridge and Halifax is the corner.
That's the whole corner.
Oak Ridge, just east of this
Oh,
property.
so this is the house that's right on the corner of Halifax and Oak Ridge?
No, well, not this house you're looking at.
No, the previous one.
Yes. It's one removed. The house on the corner is also included, but the one that where there's the violation is next to that, just north of that on Halifax. So there's 4 buildings that are sold, 2 which were reported.
All right, same circumstance?
That's
Except for the life safety issues.
correct.
Okay. I will amend our current order of noncompliance to allow the respondent until June 7, 2023 to come into compliance or be returned for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. With regard to the life safety issues, that being the electrical system, I am requiring the respondent to come into compliance within 10 days or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Okay, the electrical thing is a wild card that is another consideration altogether. So we want the electrical issues in this place fixed. Okay, and is the prospective purchaser aware of this property as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay, is that about as much as we can do here on this?
Yes, at this stage, yes.
Hang on one second. And this too goes to February of this year? Okay. All right, hang on a second. So has your buyer shared with you her plans for these properties?
Her plan is to renovate all 4 buildings, pretty much from top to bottom. The electrical issue that was mentioned is in the garage with there's 2 rentals in that building. According to Austin, him and I were both in there. We don't agree that there's an electrical issue, but we're happy to check on it within the 10 days. And I'll tell Andre that
Got a
immediately.
licensed electrician doing whatever he does and saying you're good to go, then so be it. I mean, the city may take a different view, but I'll hear it then.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so that's the corner of Halifax and Oak Ridge. I should probably stop talking. Okay. All right. Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
Case number 34, Marmon Real Estate LLC. Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
This is a property with a new owner now. We would like to add the new owner to this case and amend the compliance date to the next cutoff.
Who's the new owner?
The new, gonna make me try to read. Jara Segundo Leonardo Maraboli is the new owner.
Okay, and does, I assume, Mr. Maraboli know these proceedings are pending?
I don't believe so.
Do we know if he's agreed to intervene?
January.
Oh, I'm an answer.
I have not spoken or made any contact with this property, the new property owner.
Okay, so what is the relief we're looking for right now? We want me to add this guy as a new respondent and extend the compliance date to the next cutoff.
Yes, sir.
Mr. McKelger, the respondent was first notified on case here?
Yes.
January 26th, 2023. And then he sold a property and was recorded on January 31st of 2023. If I can have a minute.
What cases are you two folks here on? 44, and you? 42? Yours is 45? Yes, sir. And yours is 44?
What we'd like to do with this, Mr. McKelger, is go ahead and we'll move forward dismissal on this, and we'll recite it against the current owner. It was sold 2 or 3 days after notice. There's some possible argument in the statute to, once they're notified that they are under the that they are not, once they sell that, we can add the addition. Our typical practice is we don't add an additional owner until we have our first hearing. And so since we had not heard it and it hadn't been before the magistrate and in that sense invoked any kind of magistrate jurisdiction, we typically would not have just added them. We would have substituted and brought in a new owner. So we'll do that at this stage.
So what am I doing?
We're asking to dismiss this. It's at the stage where we made these prior rulings, but it is probably more appropriate to dismiss it at this stage, and we'll go ahead and we'll recite it and start fresh with the owner who's been the owner since January 31st.
Well, let's take a moment just to re-educate me. What do we do with these respondents who show up and haven't done anything, and then they come in and say, oh, but I've got a contract and I'm getting ready to sell?
Typically, we keep on going.
Okay, good enough. That's all I need to hear. Very good. So in any event, case number 34, the city wishes to dismiss it?
Yes.
All right, then I am ordering that SMG 032365 is dismissed without prejudice whatsoever without prejudice to being renewed period. All right, I believe let's go out of turn here. Let's go to case 44, Daytona Beach, Bella Vista. Yes, ma'am, if you would please state your name and be sworn.
Janet Shannon.
Truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, this matter is here for the imposition of a fine, so let's hear from our inspector.
All right, since the last hearing, I've had contact and a permit was issued for the wall repair. I'd like to amend to the August cutoff to allow the work to take place.
What say the respondent?
Yes, please.
All right, based upon our inspector's report and the response of the respondent, sounds as though we have a stipulation to extend the respondent's compliance date to August 2, 2023. So therefore, I will order our current order of noncompliance amended to allow the respondent to August 2, 2023 to come into compliance or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Good luck to you.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Case number 45, Harbor Beach Resort Condominium Association.
Morning, everyone.
If you would please state your name and be sworn.
Christopher Petralia.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
This matter's been continued from our March hearing, and it's my understanding we're here today for a progress report and to determine a compliance date. What progress do you have to report?
We have almost completed the entirety of the ocean or east portion of the seawall project. The only remaining portion, if you'll go back one slide, is going to be that area. Everything south is being primed and painted this week currently. All concrete repairs, spallings or otherwise, have been repaired. Concrete patches, new rebar installed where needed. This portion has not been addressed yet as we are waiting. We're going to be addressing the tiebacks. We are going to be ripping up the parking lot. The tiebacks connect quite literally inside of that wall to keep it from falling over into the ocean if water gets behind it. So that's the only portion we're waiting on at this time. I fully expect them to finish up on the project as slated. It was a 4-month project, so we're very excited to see it done.
And it ends when?
We started in, sorry, I'm going to pull out
Right
the
in.
calendar. We started on March 3rd, so July 3rd is when we are expecting it to be completed. I've not heard any type of updates from my contractors. I meet with them weekly. We did have $30,000 beach access stairs put in. The change order for the tiebacks was over $50,000. We did another $30,000.
So I could set a compliance date of July 5th, but that sounds pretty close. Sounds like the respondent's done everything they're supposed to. Why don't we just give them till August 3rd? Anybody have a problem with that?
No, sir.
August 3rd, you think you'd be done?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, then I'll go ahead and order the respondent to be in compliance by August 3, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Okay, don't forget to call for your final inspection when the work's done. And if you run into hiccups along the way, let the inspector know, and we'll take that into consideration if need be. Good luck to you.
Pelcha?
Thank you.
I mean August 3rd,
Yes, what did I say?
2nd.
I've got August 2 on my cutoff date here.
Right, it's August 2nd.
Okay, I'm sorry,
Are you-
August 2nd. I apologize. August 2nd is the compliance date.
Absolutely.
Good luck to you.
And thank you for moving us up.
No problem. Okay, going back to where we
Can
left.
we take a quick break?
Sure. Let's go ahead and take about a 10 or 15-minute break, and then we'll resume, I believe, with case number 36.
Unless you want to continue with me.
Case number 36, Ellen Rosenfeld, trustee of the Virgil and Ellen Rosenfeld Family Trust. Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
Since last hearing, I've had communications with Kelsey Joplin, the manager in charge of the property manager. She sent an email indicating that the roof has been done and it's closed out. They are currently working with, for her email, Zahn Engineering to finish the project. As such, staff is recommending to amend to the July cutoff, please.
To the July cutoff?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Based on our inspector's report, I will amend our current order of noncompliance to allow the respondent till July 5, 2023 to come into compliance or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 37 is in compliance. Case number 38, Daytona Lands 1. Anyone here for the respondent? No. This is we have a Zoom attendee? Yes, Your Honor. Okay.
Video.
Yes, sir. If you would please state your name and be sworn.
Hi, good morning. Fabrizio Lucchese.
I'm sorry, can you spell your first name?
Fabrizio.
Your last name?
Lucchese.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. This matter is here for the imposition of a fine, so let's hear from our inspector.
Since last hearing, I received an email from Ms. Spears informing me that the demo permit is still ongoing. However, they have obtained their asbestos documents, and so they will be submitting that to the building department. At this point, it's really on the building department to make sure they review all their documents, and at which point the demo will start. So as such, we wish to give them till the July cutoff, please.
City is proposing to extend your compliance date to July 5th. How's that sound to you?
That works for us. Thank you.
Very good. All right, then I will amend our current order of noncompliance to allow the respondent until July 5, 2023 to come into compliance or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 39, CCO Investment LLC. Do we have anyone for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
Yeah. All right. Since the last hearing, the HVAC the HVAC was fixed last time, but they still have not gotten their license. I would like to ask for a one-time fine of $250.
Is this the administrative fee for failing to obtain the business tax receipt?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, noting the absence of the respondent based upon the inspector's testimony, I'm going to fine the respondent the $250 administrative fee for failure to obtain its business tax receipt. Is that all we have to do for this matter?
Yes, sir.
All right, that's that. Case number 40, we've already done. Case number 41, we've already done. Case number 42, Joseph P. Torch. Anyone here for the respondent? Okay, gentlemen, if you would state your names and be sworn.
Joseph Torch. Stephen Weaver, Sr.
Raise your right hand. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do. I do.
Thank you.
All right, I'm here. I'm supposed to be getting a progress report and consider imposing a compliance date. Who's going to give me the progress report?
You guys can go ahead. We haven't had any contact, so.
Okay.
Good afternoon. Good morning, Your Honor. My name's Steve Weaver, and I'm a general contractor retained to help Mr. Torch. Hopefully, in contrast with some of the people this morning, I can tell you about all we've done.
Good.
Several items. The project became a little bit awkward because even though his original stair permit was issued, when we went to submit plans, planning department said he needed a variance. And we have the variance paperwork filled out. We have the building permit packages completed. He's already had 2 different surveys done, retained me, retained the architect. The drawings are just about ready to go in. But I can provide a copy of the letter we shared with Melissa Phillips in the planning department. Our position is that we don't need to go through a variance process that takes 3 months and cost the gentleman $2,000 or $3,000 in total cost. We believe we should just be in for building permit right now. We are ready to go that route. We're waiting on the planning department to reply to us, and I know it's not the right format or the right setting, but I could explain why we feel entitled.
So what's the rub?
The rub is that the stairs were put back in the exact same location, even to a lesser extent encroaching on the front and side setbacks than the original ones. The planning department has confirmed that the enclosure of the porch does not require a variance. Only the stairs were in question. We have a fairly substantial document created by the surveyor of record of both the pre-damage and the post-construction, showing that the new stairs actually occupy less of the front and side setbacks. This is in the planning department for their review, and upon their decision about whether we need a variance or not, we'll proceed in the direction they tell us to go, either through the 3-month variance process with a site plan, a $450 application fee, and several other things related to the variance process, or we'll turn in our building plans and be done with this thing in 60 days. So we would greatly prefer that, but it's not in our hands. It's up to, I don't know if it's Mr. Morris and his department or the planning department at this point to give us a response.
What say the city?
In light of this new information, be willing to amend should be 30 days to find out which direction we're going to go. So next cutoff.
Marcus report, possible.
Oh, sorry.
We're looking for compliance date.
Then we'd like a compliance date in August.
We're going to do our darndest. This is costing, you can't get insurance because of a stop work order. We have every motivation to get this over with from our perspective as soon as possible. So whatever you do, we'll be here to tell you where we're at, but we're pushing.
What is it you're waiting on right now? You're waiting on the planning department to accept or reject your position that you're done?
That we don't need a variance.
You don't need a variance.
Yeah,
You
and-
should be able to get a permit.
Right.
You should be able to go about your business
Yes, sir.
and finish the work.
Yes, sir.
And they're either going to say yay or nay to that.
Yes, sir.
And when do you expect that response?
I stated as kindly as I could in something I need to be a pleasant working relationship. The time was of the essence, and they typically take 3 to 5 days to confer. And we turned it in yesterday after having talked to them all week about the situation, and I put together my presentation, turned it in yesterday. So that was after waiting a month to get a survey, following the planning department's direction and getting more information about the survey, doing our research on whether a variance should be done, and
if you got to go the variance route, how long is it going to take to go through the variance process?
the deadline for the next meeting is on the 20th of this month, and that meeting's 40 days out from there, and then, so.
What is the issue that's perhaps requiring a variance? In size of a non-conforming structure?
No, sir. The main reason is that the widening of A1A made everything about that place automatically out of compliance.
Right.
And recent maybe tightening of side setback rules to not allow stairs in anymore. The man's stairs come in on the side of his porch, and they've been in the side setback forever. And so we're looking for an administrative discretion to say, okay, stairs were there, They take up less volume, less space than they did, and we'd like to proceed straight to building permit. They're going to tell us what they think, hopefully in a couple days.
So what is the anti-argument here that you're going to be confronted with? Just for my edification.
Well, my words to them were,
So they're going to say what? You had you have what is now considered to be an encroachment that was wiped out by a storm, and you don't get to replace it?
yeah, and my words were, if you're in your professional opinion generated via the most critical and intrusive interpretation of your code imaginable, this is still a replacement set of stairs in the same location, and we would appreciate administrative discretion and acceptance of these replacement stairs, since the old ones were already in the front and side setbacks, and the new steps occupy the same exact location. We'll abide by your decision. We know that we still need building permit plans, and we will look forward to your answer.
Okay.
I'd be glad to keep Mr. Yates posted on an item-by-item basis from this point forward, too. And it's in his interest to get it over with. We're certainly not trying to...
Okay, let's, well, I mean, I can't even take a stab at a compliance date here.
Well, the only reason I'm suggesting the August is because as long as they meet their deadline for submittal to the board for the variance, then they would have the permit in hand in enough time and still be able to complete the work by August. So even if it goes the bad way, they should still be able to do August.
I know you don't like that outcome.
I don't.
Date-wise, do you agree with what he says?
I think it's a moot point, sir. Once we get our direction from planning, we'll be able to properly forecast. But considering you have to set a deadline today, make it what it is.
I don't have to do anything today.
Yes, sir. I don't see anything wrong with August, and we'll keep Mr. Yates posted on our progress, and if we think that we need another month from there, we'll let him know. But it shouldn't be more than that. And hopefully it's only a month and a half from now and we're done, if we don't need that.
Well, I don't have any doubt that the property owner's motivated, and I don't have any doubt that he's doing everything that he can. So I don't have any problem setting it out till August, because I think maybe we'll just be giving away a lot of time for no particular purpose. Because hopefully it'll go, anyway. Enough said. All right, I'm going to order the respondent to come into compliance by August 2, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. And if this thing goes totally off the rails, just let the inspector know that, and we'll deal with that when the time arises. Hopefully, you'll get your green light to get to work, and you'll be done in about 60 days. That'd be cool.
Thank you.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin.
Good one, guys.
Okay, the Americano Beach Lodge Resort Condominium Association. It's my understanding we have a Zoom attendee.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Then I stand corrected. All right, if you would state your name and be sworn, please.
Brian Smith, 5601 Windover Drive, Westgate Resorts.
You swear affirm the testimony you're about to provide the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
All right, we're here for a progress report. Any progress?
Yeah, there's been quite a bit of progress. So we actually worked with Volusia County, and the site's cleaned up. It's got temporary shoring, which is what you're seeing there.
What are those big plastic bags?
It's a trap bag system, the shoring system that Volusia County puts.
What does that do?
I guess
Keeps the sand behind it from getting washed out or something?
Pretty much.
Yeah, basically, yes. Yeah.
Huh. Do they still have that thing down south that somebody stabbed to death? That big old long thing that they filled up with seawater, I think, and then didn't somebody punch a bunch of holes in it?
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay, I'm sorry. So you've got oversized trash bags on the beach now. What other progress have we got to talk about?
So again, we got had a bunch of pre-app meetings with the city, with DOT, with DEP, got geotech scheduled for borings this week. Have a report from them in a couple weeks after that. Working through our site plan issues, and all things considered, we're going to have site plan permits, building permits, probably by the end of August.
Okay, well.
Or submitted end of August.
I can see we're going to be doing this for a while, so tell me when you want to reconvene.
I was thinking August for the next progress report.
Good with me.
Okay, then I will set this matter for another progress report on our August 8, 2023 meeting. So what all you got to do, you got to get your seawalls first, then you start fixing the parking lot and everything back up.
So we're getting ready to submit site plan approval to the city that goes to planning staff and city commission to basically bring the entire site into compliance. Then end of August, we're going to submit site plan engineering plans, all of our seawall stuff, all of our vertical permit construction, probably all of those.
What vertical permit construction?
We're
Or what
renovating
vertical
that-
permit? yeah,
We're
what
renovating
vertical-
that entire building.
Pardon?
We're renovating that entire building.
Been working on it forever. You're not done with it yet?
Yeah. No.
I mean, I know you replaced the balcony. I know you extended the balconies, then you enclosed the balconies, then you.
That wasn't us, but yeah, somebody did that.
How long has it been since that place has been open?
Closed?
Yeah, well, okay, let's do
Yeah.
it that way.
Because it's not open now.
Right.
We owned it about a year roughly, but I think it was closed since the previous hurricanes. Not Irma, but yeah, 17 or, yeah, probably.
All right. Well, I mean, no, I mean, I just asked because to look at the building from the outside, it looks like it's
It's
good to go.
I mean,
but
they put in new
obviously, I haven't
windows
been
and
inside it.
I guess probably did some paint, but yeah.
Is this going
inside
to be, is it going to be motels or, I'm sorry, motel rooms or
It's going to be
a condominium or what?
no hotel and probably some timeshare in there. But it's all like I said, the inside of that tower, it looks nice from the outside. The inside is horrible.
Oh, really? Okay.
Got water damage. I mean, one floor has been demoed completely.
So just out of curiosity, when's the grand opening of the new Americano going to be?
So if they
Are we
get
talking 2025?
probably end of probably end of 24, beginning of 25. Yeah, probably.
Okay, cool. All right, well, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Poor building's taking a beating, I know that.
It's had a lot of withstood a lot though. I mean, it's still there. It's decent shape.
When I
all
was a
things
kid, I had
considered.
buddies that used to lifeguard that pool.
Well, that 10-foot, 12-foot deep pool is going to be no more because we're redoing the pool as well. So.
Oh, you know, it was that deep because they had a high dive there.
I know, you can see where it was.
Yeah, probably, that was probably good for about a dozen lines.
At least.
Okay.
Not more.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, we did 44, we did 45, that brings us to 46, Norman H. Riley Estate. Not seeing anyone for the respondent, what say the city?
All right, since last month's hearing, no progress or contact was made. Staff requests a fine of $250 a day with a max of $15,000.
Noting the absence of the respondent based upon our inspector's testimony, I'm fining the respondent the sum of $250 per day commencing May 4, 2023, and that fine will continue to accrue each day thereafter until the property is in compliance or the amount of the fine has reached the sum of $15,000. Case number 47, Rosalie Riley. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the inspector?
All right, since last month's hearing, no progress or contact was made. Staff requests a fine of $250 a day with a max of $15,000.
Noting the absence of the respondent, based upon our inspector's testimony, I'm finding the respondent the sum of $250 per day, commencing May 4, 2023, and continuing to accrue each day thereafter until the property is in compliance or the amount of the fine has reached the sum of $15,000. Case number 48, Katami Abdul Wahab Al Fasil Al Katami Steel Building. Is there anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
Since last month's hearing, no progress, no contact was made. Staff requests a fine of $250 a day with a max of $15,000.
Noting the absence of the respondent, based upon our inspector's testimony, I'm finding the respondent the sum of $250 per day, commencing May 4, 2023, and that fine will continue to accrue each day thereafter until the property is in compliance or the amount of the fine has reached the sum of $15,000. Case number 49, Joshua Lee Swift. Is there anyone here on behalf of the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
Since last month's hearing, no progress or contact was made. Staff requests a fine of $250 a day with a max of $15,000.
Noting the absence of the respondent, based upon our inspector's testimony, I'm finding the respondent the sum of $250 per day, commencing May 4, 2023. That fine will continue to accrue each day thereafter until the property is in compliance or the amount of the fine has reached the sum of $15,000. Case number 50, Shirley Baker Anderson. Is there anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
Since last month's hearing, no progress or contact was made. Staff requests a fine of $250 a day with a max of $15,000.
Noting the absence of the respondent, based upon our inspector's testimony, I find the respondent the sum of $250 per day, commencing March 4, 2023. The fine will continue to accrue each day thereafter until the property is in compliance or the amount of the fine has reached the sum of $15,000. Case number 53, Shirak Ranjitabi Patel. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
Since last month's hearing, no progress or contact was made. Staff requests a fine of $250 a day with a max of $15,000.
Noting the absence of the respondent, based upon our inspector's testimony, I'm finding the respondent the sum of $250 per day, commencing May 4, 2023, and the fine will continue to accrue each day thereafter until the property is in compliance or the amount of the fine has reached the sum of $15,000. Case number 54, Trustee LLC, or TRSTE LLC is trustee of the 330 Loomis Land Trust. Is there anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
Since last month's hearing, no progress or contact was made. Staff requests a fine of $250 a day with a max of $15,000.
I would ask if we could correct the form of the style. We probably should be writing this as the 330 Loomis Land Trust, TRSTE LLC as trustee, because writing it the way that we're writing it leaves us leaning, encumbering TRST, the trustee, as opposed to encumbering the trust. And the trust is actually the entity that should be encumbered.
Okay. Noting the absence of the respondent, based upon our inspector's testimony, I'm finding the respondent, 330 Loomis Land Trust, the sum of $250 per day commencing May 4, 2023, and the fine will continue to accrue each day thereafter until the property is in compliance or the amount of the fine has reached the sum of $15,000. Case number 55, TRSTE LLC as trustee of the 330 Loomis Land Trust. Is there anyone here on behalf of the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
Since last month's hearing, no progress was made, no contact from the owner. Staff requests a fine of $250 a day with a max of $15,000.
Noting the absence of the respondent and based upon the testimony of our inspector, I'm finding the respondent, 330 Loomis Land Trust, the sum of $250 per day commencing May 4, 2023, and that fine will continue to accrue each day thereafter until the property is in compliance or the amount of the fine has reached the sum of $15,000. Case number 56, Katami Abdul Wahab, FNAL Faisal El Khatami Steel Building. Is there anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
And since last month's hearing, no progress was made, no contact from the owner. Staff requests a fine of $250 a day, max of $15,000.
Noting the absence of the respondent, based upon the testimony of our inspector, I'm finding the respondent, the sum of $250 per day, commencing May 4, 2023, and continuing to accrue each day thereafter until the property is in compliance or the amount of the fine has reached the sum of $15,000. Case number 57, Stephen Hamill. Is there anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
Since the last hearing, no progress was made, no contact from the owner. Staff requests a fine of $500 a day with a max of $15,000.
Noting the absence of the respondent, based upon our inspector's testimony, I'm finding the respondent the sum of $500 per day, commencing May 4, 2023, which will continue to accrue each day thereafter until the property is in compliance or the amount of the fine has reached the sum of $15,000. Case number 58, Brandon Wilson. Is there anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
All right, since the last hearing, more work has been done. Spoke to the owner this past month. He actually hurt himself trying to clean up the property by himself. So I'd like to give him an opportunity to finish. So I'd like to amend to the next cutoff.
All right, based upon our inspector's report, I'm going to amend our current order of noncompliance to allow the respondent till June 7, 2023 to come into compliance or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. All right, that now brings us to the lien reviews. Lien review number 1, Mickey H. and Anna Obed. I assume that's trust or trustee, 1130 South Ridgewood Avenue. All right.
State your name for the record, please. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
State your name.
Mickey Obed.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, first off, is this a contested lien review request, or have we reached some sort of an agreement with the respondent here?
No agreement.
No agreement. All right, Mr. Obed, it would appear as though the work that was to be done on your property you first learned of in July of 2021. There was an order imposing a fine effective April 7, a couple years later, to a maximum of $20,000, and the property was brought into compliance finally about a year after that.
Yes.
So you currently have a fine plus fees of $20,024. So explain to me the extenuating circumstances I should take into consideration in granting any relief you may want.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for accommodating me. Yes, it was at the time that the pandemic broke out, and I tried at least 25 glass companies to try to get them to fix the job. The glass is unusual. It's like from 5 feet to 13, 14 feet tall. So not every window company could help me, but the people that they could, they didn't have the time to do it because they were short on help due to the pandemic. So they gave me 3, 4, 5 months to call back. I called back after these months, and they were still behind the schedule. We completed the window last year. We had other issue with fence that we were supposed to repair, which we did on daily basis. We had several people, homeless people, all around the restaurant in the back and the side. They had mattresses and beds and name it. We couldn't get rid of them. I called the police on several occasions. They couldn't help me. They had to be there while I called. One time we caught them and they arrested one person, but that didn't help. The day we fixed the fence, the next day it was down, or the same night. So this way they can go back and stay behind. And it was so on. So we really could not. I had a guy, initially I had to leave town to move out of town because of my wife had health issues, so we moved close to my kids. Actually, she's having an operation next week. But beside that, the minute we fix something, the minute we clean after them, the trash was there. It was absolutely no way we can compete with them. But thank God I leased the place, and these people, they're doing a lot of work. By the way, I see the picture with the vines. That was an issue too, but this vine is Florida vine. And I asked, please, if I can keep it because it looks so good. But then the city said, no, you cannot do that. So I comply. I took the vines down way back then. So all in all, I think I've been really unfortunate because of the pandemic, because of health issues, and because just couldn't find people to do the work. I'm not of lack of trying. I sent a list to the city of at least 25 window glass people for repairs from Daytona, Orlando, Jacksonville, West Side, New Smyrna Beach, name it, at least 25, as I said, and I couldn't do anything during the pandemic. Finally, everything was done last year, and we got the release on February 17 this year by the city inspector, and thank God it's all in compliance. So I really honestly believe that I could not again do anything more than I have done to make things better because it wasn't under my control. Either the window was too heavy, too large, or they were short of help, or people just didn't want to work. I would appreciate to be lenient due to the fact that it was absolutely not lack of trying. I tried extremely hard.
That it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what say the city?
Yes, sir. This case was a field-generated case that opened on July 29th of 2021. Came in compliance on March 22nd of 2023. He was cited for failure to maintain the fence, windows, the exterior walls, the weeds. And since 2019, myself has opened 8 prior maintenance cases: trash, debris, abandoned building, failure to maintain sign, graffiti. And the property was also cited 5 times for failure to maintain landscaping. City's recommending no lien reduction.
Do you have anything else you wanted to add, Mr. Obed?
Yes, okay. You know, the restaurant been closed for over about 8 years. And the weeds were constantly, I have a person that it was a part-time, he went there at least once, twice a week, spray with weed killer, and then clean the weeds. Before you know it, it was back on. So on the fence, the day we fix it, that's when that was broken that night. So it was just a race between us and the homeless people that they occupied the parking lot and actually broke one of the windows and went in. They stay in for several days until we discovered that they were in. And I called the police, and by the time the police were there, they were out. I was in contact with the police so many different times. They arrested somebody outside. We have trespassing signs all over, and we're complying the best we could with the police department. And just unlucky that pandemic really ruined us completely. And my wife's health was down the drain, so we had to move to be close to the kids. As a matter of fact, she has a surgery next Monday. And I want you to be lean on that fine. I really can't afford this kind of fine.
Okay, your request is denied.
Why is that?
Because I don't think you've given me any extenuating circumstances, and you've done nothing more than discuss to me that you're an absentee owner trying to field a piece of property that's an eyesore here in Volusia County that's passed by millions of motorists every day, and you didn't lift a finger to do anything except make a call occasionally just to get a cop out there to do something once in a while. As far as I'm concerned, you put little or no effort into maintaining this property. This is one of the properties that blighted an area of this community that is a black eye on this community, and you're nothing but an absentee owner that didn't lift a finger to do anything. And quite frankly, I don't even know why I'm explaining it to you, but there you go. That's why. Thank you. You have a good day.
It's not true, though.
I'm done. Next case.
Not true. It's not true.
Lien review number 2.
Past 100 days, there was only 2 trespassing calls, and that was this month.
Yes, sir. Okay, we have a lien review number 2 here. Lena Wallace, 716 North Halifax Avenue, Unit 11. First off, before I go off on anybody, do we have any kind of an agreement?
Yes, we're here.
Okay.
Yes, we do. We discussed that we would be willing to lower the amount to $1,500. Considering.
All right, who am I talking to here?
Lena Wallace.
Lena Wallace.
Well, I can't see you, Ms. Wallace. Do you need to? Oh, there you are.
Yes. Yes, sir.
All right. If you would state your names and be sworn by our secretary.
My name is Lena Wallace.
Raise your right hand.
Lena Wallace.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to your other right?
Yes.
Your right hand, she said.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Ms. Wallace, am I to understand that you and the city have worked out some sort of an agreement on this matter?
Yes, sir.
And as I understand it, the agreement is that I will reduce this to the sum of $1,500 and then you're going to pay it?
Yes, sir.
All right, then I'll go ahead and accept that stipulation of the parties, and with that, I'll agree to reduce the lien and the fine to the sum of $1,500. I assume that's to be paid within 30 days?
Yes.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, now that's to be paid within 30 days. If you'll get in touch with the city attorney, who do they contact, the city?
Actually, the staff, the person,
They can contact me.
board secretary.
All right, it sounds like our secretary knows how to get in touch with you, so she'll get together to make the necessary arrangements. We need to follow through on that payment or else the fine and the lien stays the way it is. So please be sure to follow through on that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Good luck to you.
Thanks.
Lien review number 3, Land Trust 552 Fairmont, care of TRSTE LLC as trustee.
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, sir. If you would please state your name and be sworn.
Aaron Reiser.
Raise your right hand. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Okay, am I to understand that we have worked out some sort of an arrangement with the applicant here?
Yes, sir, we have.
And what is that?
We've agreed upon a reduction to $2,500.
Okay. I'm sorry, sir, your last name again?
It's Reiser, R-E-I-Z-E-R.
Okay, Mr. Reiser, I'm told that y'all have an agreement to resolve this for the sum of $2,500. Does that sound about right to you?
Correct.
Okay, then I'll go ahead and adopt the party's stipulation and reduce the amount of the fine and lien to the sum of $2,500. That is subject to being paid within 30 days. And if it's not paid within that 30 days, then it remains the way it is. So be sure, to follow through on that. And if you, I assume you're already in touch with our secretary, and so
Yes.
she'll assist you in that regard.
Thank you so much. I would like to pay to them tomorrow, actually, to show you our gratitude and thanks you for your assistance.
No problem. Good luck to you.
Thank you so much, sir. Have a great day.
You're welcome. All right, lien review number 4, Damian W. Williams and Willie Holland, 2215 North Atlantic Avenue. All right, am I to understand we have an agreement as to this lien review request?
Yes, for $2,000.
Okay. Yes, ma'am, if you would please state your name and be sworn.
Hi, yes, Michelle Bondi.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Ms. Barnby, I'm being told that you and the city have come to an agreement to reduce this fine and lien upon payment of the sum of $2,000. Does that sound about right to you?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, then I will go ahead and adopt the stipulation of the parties and agree to reduce the order imposing fine lien to the sum of $2,000, subject to that being paid within 30 days. If it's not paid within 30 days, then it stays the way it is.
Thank you, sir. It will be paid tomorrow morning.
Very good. Okay, good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
All right, it is my understanding that the applicant with regard to lien review request numbers 5 and 6 is going to pull these requests and has asked that she be permitted to do so without prejudice to them being resubmitted at a later date. First off, is there anyone on Zoom that needs to be a party to this?
No.
Oh, okay, so I'm just,
This would have been Mr. Diego and
Jim Cannon.
Jim
Okay.
Cameron. They
All
were
right.
representatives for this.
okay, well, in any event, as per the stipulation of the city, I'll allow the applicants for lien review request number 5, DB 153 Corporation, and number 6, DB 101 Corporation to withdraw their lien review request without prejudice to being resubmitted at a later date. Is that all I need to do on those two?
Yep, that sounds good.
Okay. Do we have any miscellaneous business to be brought before the magistrate?
Can I just ask you real quick? Number 50, when you stated the order I thought I heard you say March 3rd or March 4th instead of May 4th, effective date for the fine.
Shirley Baker Anderson. All right, yeah, I definitely would not have wanted to say March.
Right.
And so this respondent wasn't here to begin with, was she?
No.
All right, then if I misspoke, then I will amend the order to specifically provide the respondent will be fined the sum of $250 per day commencing May 4, 2023, and the fine will continue to accrue each day thereafter until the property is in compliance or the amount of the fine has reached the sum of $15,000. Thank you. Anything else to be brought before the special magistrate? We're adjourned.
There's a lot that goes into serving the citizens of Daytona Beach. Staff members strive every day to deliver an experience